hello. Okay, cool. This is my analysis based off AJ. So, AJ pretty much opens in about a couple hours, 2 3 hours. So, what is my analysis, right? Obviously, still overall very bullish. This is kind of where I'm stuck on at the moment because so we're still obviously bullish, right? And the past couple of weeks, maybe like the past 2 weeks, I've been trying to kind of catch this, right? I've been trying to catch the drop, even though technically we're not at that key level. You know, what I mean, I was still thinking that it was gonna drop here last week and the week before that. I tried catching like a sell, right? And they were just dumb. They were just at the top. Like I almost caught this here last week. This drop here, right? I was so close. I was so close on catching that drop. I was pretty much, or I think it was H4 actually. Yes, I had insert here and I had stops right here, literally right above that area, and it stopped me out. So now, yeah. So that was one trade. I think the other trade I took too was I think here, if I'm not mistaken, or is it this one? It might have been this one actually. Yeah, because I caught the sell and I was holding it and then it pushed up, if I remember correctly. So, pretty annoying, especially because right after it dropped here, it dropped, right? So, and I did have a standard lot on this, so it did kind of, for me, it was a loss, right? It was a big loss for me. But again, it was something that I was just, again, it's not like I shouldn't even be trading this, but the fact that I was just so close, literally like the next day, it just drops. It just drops, right? So I was so close, and yeah, I'm still mad about that, but nonetheless, right? So now, okay, so here we're at here. We tried selling this, pushed up, and now we got, and then the push down, right? So now we're kind of at this little like bearish kind of momentum going on right now. If we look at this, right? Overall, still bullish. So let's kind of go back. So yeah, so this is where I'm kind of struggling. I want to say struggling, it's just kind of a bad habit. But now I'm actually looking for sells for the main fact that we're not at that level yet, right? So I'm still kind of hesitant whether or not to just wait for some type of crazy wick. But once again, it's on the monthly, so I'd be like kind of sitting out in a sense. For any long term, right? I can just still do short term sells, but even the short term sells are pretty hard to catch. As you can see, like any type of sell that lasts 2 months, even like this was like the best sell opportunity, and this is back in November. So anything else was really quick. As you can see, just a couple wicks. That's all that was. So once again, right, and this was last week, obviously the big sell exhaustion, and now we're back in that same area, right? So right now we're currently pretty big bullish candle, right? So I don't know, right? I don't know if I want to take this sell or not. And like I said, as of now, we're kind of still, yes, we're obviously bullish on the daily, right? So we're still bullish, but at the moment, just kind of how we maintain this higher low, we're kind of maintaining that lower high point as well, as you can see here. So we're still maintaining that lower high point, and then the exhaustion right there also kind of hinting to me to a certain extent. And then I go down to lower time frames, H4, still maintaining pretty much this level of resistance. It was a higher high, right? So technically based off H4, currently we're still more bullish, right? As we can see, we broke this lower high point here, but if you kind of go back a little bit more, we're kind of like in this kind of little counter trend still, right? We haven't broken the main higher high point to really break us out of here. We just kind of broke a minor lower high point here, which is a level of resistance. Um, so it's still lower high, lower low, broke this lower high, higher high, ended up being like a low because we didn't break past this, but it's a higher low based off this little bullish transition here. And then once again, we came right to this level of resistance, still maintaining that level. Big bullish candle, big bearish candle, right? So this is kind of where we're at now. It's kind of like, okay, overall, right, I would love for like an H4 to like really settle in on like some deep sells, maybe even aiming to like even just down here once again. I feel like this is a level that we can definitely come back to. Yeah, just coming back to this level here. But even for that, we would need to see some type of engulfing, some type of, candle that represents that, we can't say downside, right? But in the meantime, we do have kind of this going on right here. So as you can see, we obviously have a higher low, higher high, and then within this candle, we're struggling, right? So if we jump down to the H1, we can kind of see what that is. Big, strong, bullish candle, right? Understand that, but essentially, if we still maintain this level here, we would be pretty much maintaining this level right here, which is going to be a lower high point based off the H4, also another lower high point based off. So like it's a lower high point as well from here to here, right? This lower high point, it's also like a high from here, from there, and then we would be at a lower high point based off this resistance as well here. So it's kind of like we're very like kind of getting that bearish pressure, right? And then not to, if we go down to H1, same thing, would be a lower high point, right? So it's kind of hard, right? Like I said, it's kind of hard to I gotta just dial in and make sure that if I do catch this sell, it does what it does, and I try not to like marry the sell in a sense, especially if we don't get what I'm looking for. Because yeah, at this point in time, H1 engulfing is what we need right now, which I'm already looking. So then, and again, if I break this down here, I go down to like M15, I can obviously see nice higher low, higher high, which is that bullish candle. So we still have some ways to go for me to even 15 to kind of transition, even for me to even look for any type of sell opportunity, right, based off the M15. But best believe that I'm still deciding whether or not I should take this, right? Even if I get the slightest lower high point opportunity, I think I can really see that, coming into play if we see some type of lower high point. But that's the thing. Now we're getting to the point where it'll be something for me to either hold, not hold, right? End of the day, right? H1 engulfing. If we don't get an H1 engulfing, then that is something that, like I said, we still have an hour and 20 minutes. An hour and 20 minutes for that H4 kind of close, right? So it's still active. But again, at the moment, we kind of are pretty much forming like a lower high point because we didn't break above here. And this is looking like a lower high point, right? But again, still active candle, 21 minutes. So once again, based off M15, I would love to see some type of transition, right? Which technically, it can keep making bearish candles all it wants, right? So I think that's kind of the analysis I'm going to play out. Is the fact that, okay, until I see some type of reasoning off the M15, there's no reason for a sell. But again, that's also me just, because again, what if it does, right, push all the way up here? I'd basically be just kind of watching this bullish move kind of come into play, right? And technically we're still bullish, but that's the thing at this point in time. I feel like here, right, we're just off H4. This is where it's kind of leaning me towards maybe trying to look for a sell opportunity, just for the fact that we did kind of overall transition here with this counter trend, and now we're once again maintaining a level of resistance. And then I think it's all just a bit off the H4, but here as well, right, we got this higher low point, and that higher low point we still haven't even like broke above, right? It was, as you can see, it was weak, right? Nothing really, no engulfing, no strong engulfing, nothing like that. So I think at this point it's just really, we just gotta really pay attention to like all this, but yeah, it's tough. So, but that's kind of my analysis, right? That's kind of where I'm gonna lean towards, um, until we get something else, until something else shows, right? I mean, again, I feel like I don't know if I should just lean on this because this is a higher low point, right? It's still a higher low point, right? And again, it's hard, bro. It's hard because this can be the drop, right? And again, that's me being hopeful. I understand that I'm being hopeful in this move, trying to play out. You know what I mean? Because say it does push all the way up there, like 100 and like 150, even like a minimum 150 pips, right? Still a lot of pips. So it's a move that, you know. It's tough. I think, okay, so this is what I'm gonna go with, right? This is what I'm gonna lean on. Okay, H1 real quick. Definitely want to see some type of H1 candle, right? So I think we can. Okay, I'm not afraid to really enter off the lower high point, like I said. But here's the thing, right? H1 candle has to close damn near perfect, right? For me to even bother holding the sell. Without that H1, and that's, you know what I mean, I need to get an entry somewhat, pretty much now, but I need to get that H1 candle, because if it does tend to retrace, right, once it closes, it can do anything around here, and technically it can work out, and that's pretty much what we're gonna go with, right? The sell has to be clear. The sell has to be clear. If it's some type of weak candle, then I think we should just continue the bias of it just being bullish, right? That's pretty much the only thing that's really holding any of this up, is just that H4 candle, H4 structure. Technically, it's still technically bullish too. Like, yeah, we did get this lower high, lower low, but at this point in time, we have this higher high, higher low, higher high. Basically, pretty much the higher low from here, and now we're kind of pushing up, and then we still have a higher low point here. So even H4 is like, until we break a level of support for us to really keep going. I'm gonna just stick with that. Again, there's no, unless the sell opportunity is super obvious, there's no reason for us to take a sell. Right, super obvious. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. And yeah, we'll see how it goes.